What's that crazy dog? There's Peter. What's the crazy dog that's coming in? Who is that? Is that Mike O?
Bongo Mike.
Hey, Pete, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me okay?
How's it going, guys?
Doing good.
I gotta put my glasses on, man. It's hard. You know, my eyes, late at night, in the morning, I don't have to sit here with my glasses on the computer. But boy, by the end of the day, I'm like blind, man.
Yeah, I know.
How do you know? Are you my optometrist?
No, because I got the same problem.
Peter Dankelson, welcome to the podcast, the HOG Podcast. How are you?
Thank you. Doing good. Doing good. How are you guys?
Awesome, man.
Happy
Tracy,
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
It's great to see you, buddy. It's been a while.
I know. It's good to see you too. Yeah,
I get to see you on Facebook a lot, right? We kind of intermingle on that, and we watched over the summer, at a couple shows, and you got up and jammed with us at one of them, at one of the events, which was fun, right?
We saw Burn.
Yeah, that's right. We did a little Deep Purple Burn, baby. There's nothing wrong with that song. That thing was on fire. We got to find that one and run it here, Pete.
Yeah.
Burn.
Burn?
Burn.
All right, hold on. Oh, you hear that? Demonetized. Okay, there we go.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Well, Pete, I'm gonna let you. This is your show, man. You get us kicked off.
Hey, this is my show?
This is your show.
I thought this was our show, Kumbaya.
Oh, spread the love.
So I was working on the website, in progress, and I'm going through the Coterie stuff, and I see Peter in there a while back. Coterie puts on shows and raises money for great causes. I'm kind of putting the pieces together here, Michael Dermont. Am I close?
You're really close. Yes, Peter's participated. Peter's participated plenty of times. That's a lot of P's, man.
Probably.
Tongue twister.
It is. Yeah. I'm not going to tell Pete's story. But I'm going to let him tell his story. But I'll tell you how I came across Pete. Like many, I became a quick fan of this young man. I saw him. I didn't know who Pete was. I'm going to be honest with you. I found him on social media, and I think it was Instagram. Shortly coming out of COVID, right? Everybody was using social media to get their name out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this kid is amazing. And I'm like, holy shit, he's got like 250,000 followers. Now he's got 250,000. Me. And then I come to find out he freaking lives in Libertyville, Illinois. Like, what the heck?
What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wait, 250,000 what? Where?
Followers on, how many do you got, Pete, on Instagram now?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's a lot.
He's so
a big
humble.
number. Yeah. No.
And I just, I kind of went down the rabbit hole. I'm like, holy cow, man, I want to connect with this guy. And my brother-in-law, who lives out in Las Vegas, was in town during one of the holidays, and Pete was playing. I think he was playing at the Rock House, and we were talking about him. And my brother-in-law actually reached out to Pete's mom and told her, Dee Dee, about what I'm doing with Coterie. Long story short, I connected with Dee Dee. The next thing you know, we're putting together an event, which Pete's going to talk about, CCR. We're putting together, what's that?
CCA. CCR is a really
CCA.
good.
I'm sorry, man. Keep me honest, Pete. CCR. He was putting together for Creedence Clearwater Revival for CCA, and that's I think that's really where I first met you, Pete. Is I came out to we were doing something at the Broken Oar. We did you did a show there with something I was doing, right?
It was I forget exactly what show it was, but we were playing with you guys, and that was the first time that I met you. Yeah, I
think it was the Friends of the Oar, right? Wasn't it the Friends of the Oar?
That sounds about right. I know it was like the two shows were together.
Yeah, and then we ended up having dinner, me, you, and your parents, and my wife, and
that was
we just started talking. And the next thing you know, I recruited you to do a show with us and raise money for CCA. Yeah, and unfortunately, you couldn't do the show because you got really sick.
I had so much fun at the rehearsal though, and it was great. It was the theme was Metal Mayhem, and the rehearsal was awesome. Getting to do I was jamming some Pantera, Motorhead, the Trooper. I know we were gonna do.
We were gonna do the Trooper together, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, this is great. This is so much fun to kind of step into. Because with Pete's Diary, it's kind of more like rock, kind of classic rock.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is awesome. Getting to do some of these heavy metal tunes, and I literally woke up early the day of the show, and I was it was the sickest I'd been in a while. I'd stayed in bed the whole day.
Yeah, I remember your
I
mom
was
walked
so mad. Yeah, I was so
your mom
mad.
walked up to me and she just had this look on her face. I'm like, oh no, what? She goes, Peter is really sick. And I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? She goes, he's not going to make it. I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, we're going to scramble.
I know. I felt so bad. I'm like, no. It's like I knew, all the rehearsal, it gone back
Yeah.
and forth with like all these different parts, and I'm just like, but no, it was bad. Like it was like a horrible stomach flu. It's like I couldn't do it even if I wanted to. Like I was bedridden for like days.
I was going to
It's
say, you were
not
down for
fun.
like 3 days, weren't you? Something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was
But
brutal.
the cool thing about it was because you've been to the Coterie events as is Mike, we have so many musicians that
Yeah,
participate in those. People are
yeah,
just like, okay, they're downstairs learning the song, and next,
yeah,
we didn't drop any of your songs. We just kind of slotted other people in there, and
yeah.
it wasn't the same. I
Yeah.
definitely
Well,
wanted to jam with you.
I remember Mac. He was talking to me. He's like, "Oh yeah, I ended up doing the Trooper," and I'm like, "Oh really?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "The only thing is, I I didn't know that you guys were 2.5 step." So he said he told me like transposing on the fly. He's like, "Oh no."
Yeah, that
So,
happens all the time.
I'm sorry, dude.
All the time.
Yeah.
So Pete,
Well,
the other Pete, the Pete who
wait,
runs the show.
hold on. Let's talk about. I got CCR stuck in my head. We're here to raise awareness, right? Okay.
Well,
I don't know
enough
what
people
the
don't know
acronym
about
is. I don't know what it
Clearwater
stands
Revival.
for.
We're here
What is
today to
this?
get.
What
We're
is
here to put CCR on the map.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
rain? No, but what you did the show, okay? You raised funds, but what was it for? Explain it to me. I mean, I just looked at it today, but
Yeah.
for the people out there that just tripped over the podcast, clue us in.
The charity that we raised the money for, it's a charity called Children's Craniofacial Association, or CCA for short. And basically with CCA, it's really cool because one of the big things CCA does is they have an annual retreat every year for people with facial differences. Because I was born with a rare medical condition called Goldenhar syndrome. There's kind of different like levels of how it can affect you, but like in my case, I was born without the left ear, um, some problems with my eyes, lots of like internal stuff. I've had quite a few surgeries, to help, for like better quality of life as well. But basically, this charity, it does so many cool things. But like one of the cool things is every year at the end of June, it's in a different location of the U.S. every year. But basically, all of these families, we get together, and it's just great because it's a great way to connect. Because I can talk with people that have been through similar situations, but also like parents can connect. Because there's lots of families that have come in with like really young kids that are kind of like starting out their journey in this whole like kind of crazy medical world. And my family now, since I'm older, we can be mentors to these young families, and it's just awesome. I've been going to these retreats since I was 4 years old. So I've grown up with so many of these people, so many of these families. So it really is almost at this point like a family reunion, getting to reconnect with all these guys and meet up and just hang out. It's like for a weekend. There's like a big dinner dance and all that. But I mean, it's just a great support network. And for anything, everyone's very active on Facebook, so we're always interacting with each other. But also. There's like medical scholarships that CCA will give out to families to help with, medical funds. And it's just a really great organization. Really, helps. It's helped me out a lot. It's just been a great support and just great connection.
And was music a therapy? Like, how did you get into, I'm guessing guitar, your shrub,
Yeah.
speed metal? I hate
Well,
that.
not quite speed metal. That was the theme of the
Yeah.
Coterie. Yeah.
The Coterie event was metal mayhem. So we were doing all hard rock. I wouldn't say it was all metal, but it was definitely all hard rock. Right? Anything that was, I was going to call it the jeans and leather show. I didn't want to be the glam show, but we decided on metal mayhem.
Yeah. No, but I think for that group it was great because it was very fun to kind of dive into those songs. But mainly kind of like blues, like classic rock, bluesy kind of based. So like like my influences, Angus Young is the big one, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Zeppelin, old school Aerosmith. I mean, all that stuff. Gary Moore's a big influence. Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, a lot of those kind of guitar players. Yeah.
So how'd you get started?
So really, it kind of started at the end of, for me, it was the end of middle school because it was kind of a big turning point in my life because we were moving from Michigan. I grew up and lived in Michigan for the first like 15 years of my life, but due to my dad's job, we were going to end up moving to Libertyville. So 8th grade ended, moved here, and all these big changes with high school and new state and everything. And music was just something that kind of naturally just kind of helped me ease into all of these new changes and different situations. But I kind of started to listen to a bit more kind of like hard rock a little bit. Like I remember there was some like ZZ Top that kind of early on. Of course, AC/DC was the one that ultimately kind of pushed me over the edge to pick up the guitar. But that was kind of like, oh, that's pretty cool, hearing these guys play. Let's see if I can try it out. But my dad actually played when he was in high school, so he ended up actually. Yeah, I have it right over here.
All right,
it's like me, just gonna get up and go.
Show and tell.
That's right.
But no, it was my dad played in high school, and he pulled out this guitar from storage and stuff, and he's like, all right, he's like, well, here's an electric guitar, you can jam on that, and everything. So I just went on YouTube and started looking up lessons, and never put it down. I was immediately obsessed. Yeah.
So you were self-taught, right? You never took any lessons.
For the most part, it was pretty much for like the first year. I just kind of played on my own. Like I'd learned different different songs on YouTube and all of that. But then about a year later, the School of Rock in Libertyville opened. And that's, with School of Rock, it's great because, you could like play with a band and, you could do like local performances and do like lessons and stuff. So it was great because I'm like, that was the first time I got to play with a band and started to kind of get a little bit more kind of like technical lessons and kind of understand more of what I was doing. But really the big thing was getting to play with a band and kind of, what that whole experience is like.
Wait a minute. How long ago was this, Peter?
I first picked up the guitar kind of the spring of 2016.
No, with School of Rock, with Jay Martini.
Oh, Jay Martini?
Was Jay Martini there when you were
at
School of Rock?
Yeah.
Do you remember a really big guy that played bass really bad? That was me.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew the answer to that.
I know I've seen you before, dude. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. Well,
so wait, Pete, did you and Pete jam together? The Pete and Pete band?
Yeah. I remember, dude, you were, it was towards the tail end because the adult bands were they're trying to mix the younger kids and the adults together. And you were one of the shredders that would come up and, dude, I don't know what you're playing, man.
You got to take your hat off, Pete, because maybe he doesn't recognize you.
It's the turkey hat. Yeah.
That's turkey hat.
I'm in Lake Forest. I'll come by. You'll recognize me. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. Continue, Peter. You have my attention.
But it was great. Yeah, I did play in the adult band. Well, it was kind of interesting because I kind of played with the adult band. It was like 2020 to 21, but like 2020, of course, it was all like the COVID stuff. So that was kind of odd. And then I ended up kind of leaving in 2021. But I mean, the gigs that we did do, it was a lot of fun. It was really good getting to jam with everybody. And then, I've made like lifelong friends in the house band that I played with as well. I mean, Mac, who played bass and sang in the band. There's a great video of us playing like Black Dog together, and Mac's like this tall, and he's got his SG, and he's just kind of like, it was great. It was like his first performance as well, and we were both like just kind of having fun jamming. So that was it was a great experience as well.
Is that where you and Matt was at School of Rock?
Yeah.
That's awesome. He's a talented player. I didn't know. Yes. Of course, I know him as your bass player and singer, right? Because I've seen you guys a few times. At the show we did, we were talking about the Metal Mayhem. He picked up a guitar and started shredding. I was like, Cal, this kid's got some major talent too. That's
he's a killer guitar player.
Yeah, he really is, man. He can shred. In fact, he and TD Clark, Brian TD Clark from the TD Clark and Poison Crew, they were jamming together, and I was like,
oh, nice.
Yeah, TD's he's no slouch, right? Mac was just chopping away. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was cool stuff, man.
Yeah, we actually we opened for TD Clark over the summer at Rock House. It was good kind of getting to talk, and we ended up jamming with him kind of at the end of the night as well. So that was pretty fun. Yeah.
I got to get him on the show too. He can talk. That guy. We'll get him on. That's awesome. So
what band is he in now?
Who, TD Clark?
Peter.
Oh, Peter. That's what I was just going to go to. I was like, why are we in?
Yeah.
So, Peter, talk about your band.
Yeah. So some kind of news with the band. Unfortunately, it's kind of stopped. A little bit of kind of
bands suck. Bands
suck. No. I mean,
did it stop or is it on hiatus? Because I know you've had some drummer. You had a little bit of some drummer changeover, right? Rocky left, and then Wolfgang Paul was filling in for a little while.
Yeah. But it was kind of like with when Wolf stepped in to help with these dates. I kind of knew like it was temporary because I mean Wolf had kind of said he's like I can help you out, and I mean it was like that's what we kind of laid out for him anyway. It was like, hey, could you help us out with these shows for the end of the year, and then we'll kind of decide what to do next. It's like sure, no problem. So he ended up he did a show with us in Wisconsin. He did a show with us at Sweetwater, and then he did a show with us over the weekend at the Vixen, and that was awesome. And it was great getting to like spend some time and jam with Wolf as well. Because I mean, outside of Coterie, I don't think I jammed with him on any of the songs. I think with you one time it was him on drums, me guitar.
Then it might have been Burn. I think we did Burn. I think
we did Burn. But then I forgot about this. But he said we did Dirty Deeds as well, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that now.
You know what we did? That was
I remember that now. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. I'm like, yeah, that was fun too. Yeah. But no, so Ryan had left to pursue his master's more, and that was kind of like I met up with Mac, and I'm like, well, where's your head kind of at? And he's like, he's going to go to college over the fall, but really his passion has kind of shifted more from performing to music production. He's really gotten into like like recording and like all like the studio stuff. And that's really kind of where his passion has gone, and we're going to kind of he's like, we're not done though. He's like, maybe with the performing stuff, but he's like, we could still like jam, and he's going to teach me how to do like demos and stuff. So we'll kind of, end up doing some stuff together before he goes off to college. But yeah, now I'm kind of like, well, what's next? So it is kind of a bummer that for right now, like I'm not done, but I'm like, okay, I need to kind of regroup a bit and kind of see what's next. So little bit of a bummer that it's kind of for the moment stopped.
Well, hold on. What do you need? You got a podcast here that is.
Let's put together like a resume here, Pete. What are you looking to do?
I'm going to need auditions, and you must like AC/DC. You must.
Nothing wrong with that, brother.
So you need a drummer. What do you need?
Oh man, it's pretty much starting from scratch now.
Okay, so you need everything.
I'll be honest with you, Peter. I don't think you're going to have a hard time recruiting musicians, man. Hell, if I was 40 years younger, no, I don't think you're going to have a problem at all, man.
Well,
it's actually a shock to me.
This could be clickable. So you got to start a band. What's the first? Okay, you got guitar. What's the first person you go after? What's next?
Oh man, I really haven't put too much thought into it yet.
Well, start thinking, kid.
All kind of fresh, I guess really kind of a big thing is drums. I do love the chemistry that you have with a drummer. Like it was kind of fun getting to develop that with Wolf a little bit over the few shows that we did. It was pretty fun. Singer for sure. I'm trying to do the vocal thing. I was doing some stuff today, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm front man material. I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Wait, hold on. We got Dermont and Orfanos here.
Hey,
what's more important, singer or drums?
Drums always.
Yeah, drums. But you got to have the singer, right? You got to have.
You don't have a singer.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm a firm believer. You got to have, in order for the train to run, you got to have the tracks, man. And the tracks mean you got to have that right rhythm section. It's got to be so locked in. You can have the greatest singer in the world, but if the music isn't there to support it, so long.
Right.
There's no conductor.
No conductor. Right.
Yeah. Well, and that was kind of the fun thing with that, with jamming with Mac and Ryan for so long. It was like we had that chemistry. Like it was like, once you kind of picked up and started jamming, it's like, okay, cool, we're good to go. Like even for like some of the shows, it was like even if some of the stuff wasn't as well rehearsed as it should be, we could just kind of jump in anyway, and we could read each other so well. It was kind of instinctual. So like having that experience from jamming with them for so long was awesome. With having that chemistry built up and being able to do that, we could kind of take some chances on the fly that maybe we shouldn't have done, but we did anyway.
No, that's the sign of good musicianship, right? And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. It all comes down to chemistry. You can have great musicians on stage with you, but if they're not locking together, you could feel it in the energy and the production, the performance. Even when you said there was times when you guys just kind of did a show without maybe preparing yourself for it, but you still were able to pull. No, I know, I've been there. I've had talented musicians around me, and we've had that chemistry that even when it wasn't our best night, we were still able to put on a really good show just because of everything you just said.
Yep. Yeah. And it is cool, like when you have that kind of moment and it clicks. Like even like jamming with with Coterie, it was like, it's like, okay, we're gonna jump on the Cowboys from home. It's just like, wow.
Well, I run a pretty tight ship with Coterie. Yeah. In fact, somebody was calling me I was talking to Chris Rhodes. He didn't call me, I think he called me the field general today. I'm like, I like that name. I am the field general.
All right. So you got a drummer, singer. What's next?
I think, especially with the album that we put out, I think rhythm guitar is kind of a big thing. Well, having a second.
Damn, bass is last.
So, you see, I just thought that role was already taken, now. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. No, So I don't mean to be talking over you. I'm just trying to put this together because I think we got something here. Mm-hmm. So where do you find these people? I mean, is bandmates to go to? I'm asking everybody, like, where do you go to say it?
No idea.
Well, I'll tell you what you could do. You could start by tuning into our podcast because now we're getting the word out there, right? Yeah. No, and I'll tell you what, now that I know that Pete's going through this, I'm certainly going to help to promote that and spread the word, right? This community that we have in Chicago is really strong, It's like the Kevin Bacon thing, man. It's 6 degrees of separation. Somebody knows somebody.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely, and Pete, we don't have to talk about it now, but I'd like to have a conversation with you offline, and we'll talk about what are you looking to do. I love the fact that you said a second guitarist, because I think that allows you to really kind of step up. Plus, you're an AC/DC guy. I get it, right?
Yeah. Well, you have the record. Yeah. Well, the new record too. There's the way that our producer we worked with. He's like I think in terms of the 2 guitar thing, and I'm like, I hear you. He's like, have you thought of getting one? And I'm like, I'll try and manage with this thing, but I'm like, since we're kind of starting from scratch, I'm like, I think rhythm guitar, we should probably get that in there because then it could really enhance especially those new songs, kind of make them pop more. So
the only problem with that is just another mouth to feed, right? It's somebody else you got to split the pay with. But
what if the rhythm guitar player is the lead singer?
There you go.
And that's always I love that when you said that you're singing, Pete. I mean, it's tough enough to play the guitar, it's tough enough to be a singer, but when you get that rare breed, that dude that can actually sing and play guitar, man, that's the creme de la creme right there.
For sure.
You look at a guy like Pino Farina, holy cow, man. Yes. I mean, he's a really good guitar player and he's a really good singer. I don't think people give him enough credit for his guitar playing, but that's a talent.
Yeah.
No, does he get 2 shares?
What was it?
What's that?
2 shares.
2 shares of what?
A singer share and a guitar share, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. I thought you meant Sonny and share. Yeah, there's one share. Yes, you get 2 shares. So while you get 50%, they each get whatever.
Well, I'm just saying it could, cause problems down the road. So where do you practice? Like, how do you figure out where to practice?
Well, with Ryan, it was, I think it's kind of rule by thumb at this point. You just kind of practice at the drummer's house.
It's funny how that works.
It was great because when we were, playing with Ryan, he had this whole spot, set up in the garage, and we just go in there and just jam for hours. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, that was like our space where we play. And then like Wolf has actually it was fun because with Wolf he has a electronic kit that sounds really good. So it was like the volume could kind of come down a little bit as well. It didn't have to be like, so intense. But I mean, when it was with Ryan, Ryan, he had the real like drum setup and stuff, or like his main kit that has like a bunch of stuff on it. So yeah, he just kind of jammed there, and we just put on earplugs and turn everything up really loud. Yeah, it was great. I mean, no complaints. So I'm like, I guess that was pretty rare. I mean, even I remember one time I was leaving and you could hear like I don't know what it was. It was like mariachi or something. There was like trumpets or something, and like a little bit in the distance, and I'm like, man, this is like a musical neighborhood.
That's awesome.
Funny. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, what's that? Ryan's like, oh yeah, they practice here like every a couple of days or something. I'm like, oh,
Pete, you might think about, go switching over and doing some mariachi music, go down to the neighbors and just start kicking it out.
Mariachi AC/DC.
There we go. I'm like a classical, nylon acoustic.
Yeah.
Oh man, trying to play Thunderstruck on that is already making my hand hurt. That would be painful. Yeah.
Peter, 250,000. What is that? TikTok?
That's kind of all over. I don't know exactly like what the numbers are.
What's your platform you go to? What's the first one you go to?
I mean, TikTok's probably the biggest. I think that's like 560 something thousand. That one, I mean, that was all over the pandemic. I mean, everyone, we're all stuck at home. There's nothing to do, so everybody's just scrolling and everything.
So like, what's your most popular one? I'll put it right here. Are you shredding? Like, I don't even know.
Pete, well, I don't call Pete a shredder. I mean, he's a damn good guitar player. And I like, when he was talking about his styles, and you talk for yourself, obviously, but when I listened, what brought me in, he had that 70s rock blues feel to him. Yeah. And that's what I gravitate to. And I was like, this cat's cool.
Hold on. I saw this Angus 4 years ago.
Yeah.
He was shredding all over the place. So he's a shredder to me.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, I don't know. Everybody's kind of got their own like varying degrees of, shredding and stuff.
Right. So what are you playing? What the video that I put here, what are you playing? What's your favorite one?
Yeah. I don't really know what video popped up, but I mean, it's definitely kind of more of like the classic kind of bluesy, shredding or soloing. So like, if you listen to like Slash play or like Angus Young, it's kind of that kind of style. It's like, like 70s kind of bluesy thing. So it's kind of in the vein of that. Yeah.
Well, Pete, find a video that you like, right? Yeah. And we'll get it over to the other Pete, and we'll make sure that we get that video on there.
Yeah.
Pete, get it to Pete.
There was one that was popular. I did like Hotel California during COVID. I had like the goofy COVID hair and all that. But that was like one of the first videos that kind of like took off, during the pandemic. And then it just got like taken down like a week ago or so. I'm like, this has been up there for years. I'm like,
that's the Eagles, man. The Eagles. You posted that happened. Yeah, that happens always.
Don't get me started.
Cease and desist.
Don't get me started on Don Henley. Love the Eagles. Joe Walsh is my man, but Don Henley,
They have a legal team that goes out there, and we had somebody post a video of us doing. I don't know if it was taken or if it was.
It's like a record band playing. It's just like, it's ridiculous. I'm like,
yeah, you can't do it. We had to take all our YouTubes down one of these nights. Yep.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's like, it's just
Grateful Dead's pretty rough.
Yeah. You've got all these followers, which is awesome, right? But you're also a follower of music. You have a lot of influences. In fact, you've had the rare opportunity of performing with a lot of your influences, right?
Yeah.
I mean, talk about that a little bit, because I mean, I've seen the videos. I've seen you with the Tracii Guns and the Orthodonties. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's because of the social media thing, definitely kind of starts making the rounds with people, and some of those people just happen to be, heroes or influences. So like, Orianthi, Tracii Guns, Matt Sorum, Glenn Hughes. Actually, Glenn Hughes, that one was pretty cool, because over about a little over a year ago, just kind of like one of those cool moments where you're like, wow. He was coming to town to the Arcada Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'd love to see Glenn play. That'd be a really great show. And I don't know. I guess he responded to something that I had posted, and I responded. I'm like, I saw you're going to be in town next week. I'm like, I'm thinking about coming to the show. He's like, I'll just, how many people are coming? He's like, I'll set aside tickets for you. And I'm like, well, I'm going now. If I wasn't. But I mean, even like when I was at the show and everything too, he's like, hey, hang around a little bit. I'd love to say hello afterwards. And went down and got to talk to him there for a few minutes. It was really cool to kind meet and hang out with him. And it was really cool of him to like want to like meet or, say hello. So it was really cool. And he's like, I love what you're doing. He's like, keep doing what you're doing. And that was also like, that was when I learned to burn. Cause I'm like, there's no way it'll happen. But I'm like, if by some random miracle, Glenn Hughes is like, hey, do you want to jam? I would kick myself for the rest of my life.
Yeah, right.
Like one song. So I'm like, let's do Burn. So like, I got that in my back pocket. I'm like, it was fun to learn. Like, I wasn't expecting anything. I'm like, if there is a chance, I'm like, I want to be ready with Burn. But it was just like more of a fun challenge anyway, because there's that whole like picking, that whole solo as well is really challenging. So yeah, so it was fun to do. But I'm like, if there is like a miracle of a chance, I don't want to like kick myself for the rest of my life.
That's awesome. That's a great song to learn, man. I mean, Deep Purple's got a great catalog, but that one it's right there at the top.
That whole album, like over the spring, I went for a lot of walks like after the snow melted, and I just had that whole like Burn album on repeat. Like Mistreated is just amazing. Might Just Take Your Life. I mean, that whole record, I really fell in love with the sounds and the guitar playing. I'm just like, this is such a great album.
It was. It's interesting because it was they went away from the classic Deep Purple lineup and you David Coverdale.
Right.
To me, it's a lot what Sabbath did when they brought in Ronnie James Dio. They really changed the band, right? I mean, it was you still had your core members there, Richie Blackmore, right? But it just brought it to a different level. And it's almost like the Van Halen syndrome, right? You had the rock Van Halen, the party band, and then you get the serious Sammy Hagar in there, which totally different style. Yeah, cool stuff. So Tracii Guns, man, that's an interesting story, because not only have you got to perform with him on several occasions, he actually helped you with your album that you put out, correct? Tell us about that a little bit.
So I mean, I think Tracy kind of found me like during kind of the COVID, that kind of thing. It was following me and stuff. And I guess a while back I got to meet him. It was at the Arcada. He was on tour with LA Guns. You got to meet him and the band. It was awesome. Kept in touch and everything. And then when we were doing the album, we were recording out in California because our producer worked out there. So. And like this whole time, like, we did a couple of trips for like writing and then the actual recording. This whole time, our producer, he's like, hey, Pete, keep in mind, like, if there's any, like, is there anybody that you would want to come in and guest on this record? Like, do you have any ideas? And so finally, like, it was the last week we were there. And I'm like, let's see if Tracy would want to come in, if he's around, if he could come in and do it, or if he would need to send it later on down the road. And I knew Tracy lived close by. So I'm like, yeah, let's see if, for convenient, like, let's see if he would want to come in and do it. And I sent him a text, and like immediately he was like, when and where? Like, I'd love to hear this. So I'm like, oh, cool. So yeah, I sent him a message, and he showed up to the studio the next day with a amp and guitar, and he's like, "What are we playing? What am I playing over?" He's like, "What are we doing?"
That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Do you know any Motown?
I don't. I should though. I love listening to it, but like playing wise, not as much.
So I have a question for Pete. I happen to notice you talk about people you got to play with.
Yeah.
Did I understand you played with Joe Bonamassa?
Yeah, it wasn't like on stage. It was just like a really cool, like random, like by chance and an opportunity.
Tell us about that.
There was Norman's Fair Guitars. It's a really great guitar shop out in Los Angeles. You know, lots of people have been in and out of there, from Slash and, you know, everybody. But like I've been in there a couple times and know the guys there. You know, Norman, the gang. I've gotten to know them pretty well. And yeah, one time I was there and Norm's like, "Hey, you know, if you stick around a while," he's like, "Joe's gonna be coming in." I'm like, "Joe?" He's like, "Oh, Bonamassa's gonna be coming in." He's like, "Huh?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'll introduce you to." He's like, "Maybe we could get you guys jamming." And I'm like, I was on a trip. I'm like, you know, I had been playing. You know, it was kind of a trip kind of thing. I'm like, I'm not prepared for this. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. So sure enough, you know, a little while later, Bonamassa comes in, and I was like, "Hey," he's like, "Joe, do you know Pete?" He's like, "Yeah, I've seen you on the internet before and stuff." And actually, it was funny because I got to say to him, I'm like, "Oh, you were the last concert I saw before lockdown." It was literally my dad and I went. It was like we saw Bonamassa, and then the next day was, you know, that was when everything shut down. So I'm like, "Oh yeah," I'm like, "Joe, I saw your last show before the pandemic," and he's like, "Milwaukee?" I'm like, "Yep."
Wow.
So, but yeah, and then Norm got, you know, the amp set up. He's like, let's get you guys jamming. And actually, that SG that I play all the time, you know, it's on the cover of the album and everything. It's from that store. I got it that day, and Joe actually picked it up for a few minutes. And was kind of like noodling on it. And I'm like, oh, I got to take that home now. I'm like, that's good karma. That's good mojo right there.
And Pete's never washed that guitar ever since.
No, the neck is all dirty and disgusting. I'm like, but Joe played it, you know.
I'll never wash this guitar again.
Yeah, he's a hell of a player.
Hell yeah, he is. That's awesome.
No, the show, and Dan and I saw, we were just blown away. It was just incredible. Walked away. It's one of those shows you walked away feeling inspired and like a little bit hopeless. You're like, how does somebody get to that level?
Every show, it doesn't matter who it is, every show I go to, I feel that way. I feel hopeless. Like, I'm never going to be that good.
Yeah.
Pete.
So do you like Motown?
What was it?
Are you trying to get him on my Motown show?
Yeah, come on.
Pete knows that he has a standing invitation for any event I do. Pete, if you want to get on the Motown show, you're always welcome, buddy. Just let me know. Just reach out. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Hey!
Well, I saw is that event at Sundance?
Yeah, it's going to be at Sundance.
Oh, cool.
January
I literally
19th.
live my family, we live like right next to it. So
Right.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, let's connect.
What day is it?
It's Sunday the 19th. I try to do the Coterie events on Sundays.
Yeah.
Mainly because musicians that I recruit, musicians are out playing Friday and Saturday nights, right? They're making money.
Right.
It's hard to compete. It's hard to ask people to do that, and then it's going to be hard to compete with that. So it will be on a Sunday afternoon, 2:00 to 6:00. The good thing is, though, it is a 3-day weekend for some people because it's Martin Luther King weekend. So
yeah.
a lot of people will have Monday off. But yeah, man, you're always welcome to participate. We may just have to get you out there to sing. No guitar, get your ass singing.
That sounds terrifying. I'm like, I don't know what I do without the guitar. I'm like, that's, you know, it's like a safety blanket when you go on stage. It's like, okay, I'm good. I got this. Let's go and do this thing.
I'll bet you every musician feels exactly the same way without their instrument. You know, because as you know, I've started fooling around with the guitar a little bit, right, over the last 2 years, just doing some rhythm. I feel so out of place, right, because I don't have my microphone in my hand.
Yeah,
it's weird.
You should do like those. Some people have like those headset mics.
The wireless.
The wireless. I guess it's
Sammy Hagar used to do
but
that.
Like, it's still like, you can kind of hold it up. You don't have to like.
Britney Spears.
Yeah, but see, the problem is I can't even walk and chew gum at the same time. I would have such a hard time. And I've tried, strumming a few chords and singing. Something stops. Either the hand stops or the mouth is going to stop. I just can't do the two things at the same time.
Yeah. I kind of struggle with it a bit too, because I mean, with the band, I did like backup vocals and stuff.
Yeah,
like lead, or like if I did like "Oh Well" by Fleetwood Mac, we played that all the time. It's like it had those breaks in there during the vocals, so it wasn't like I had to sing and play.
Right.
So it's kind of convenient. It was pretty convenient in that sense.
You choose your moments, right? Where you're gonna plug it right in there. I get it. So yeah, since Pete's recruiting you to do some Motown with us, I'd love to get you involved. I'll take a look at the set list, and you and I will have a conversation about it.
I do believe we need to add songs, right?
Yeah, well, we do. I'm actually going to change the structure of the show a little bit because and actually Chris Rhodes brought this up, is Motown songs are so short. They're like 2.5 minutes. Well, normally, we're doing a show, you're doing like 30 to 35 songs, right? 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the song. Yep. Dude, we're up to 40 songs and I still don't have 3 hours of music. It's like,
oh my God. Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there's a few songs that are longer, like Papa Was a Rolling Stone.
Oh, such an awesome song. So Slash did a blues album and he did a cover of that song with Demi Lovato. Phenomenal.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
It is I love that song. I'm doing some teaching at School of Rock, and one of the bass players is learning that song right now, and I'm just like, man, it's such a great song.
It is a great song.
That's such a great tune.
Before we forget, Peter, where do we send people? Is it Pete's Diary on TikTok?
Yeah, it's petesdiary.com. It's got it's got everything out there for the social media, merch.
What kind of merch you got?
Well, we have like vinyl and CDs from the album.
Okay. All right.
And I don't know, there's like patches and all that good stuff out there.
Pete's being humble. I'm gonna have to prod him a little bit. Pete, we've talked a lot about your music, and you're a fantastic musician. But one of the things that really, I guess, attracted me to you is you're a humanitarian, man. I mean, you do so much with the CCA, the kids. You go around to schools, not only talking about CCA, but you talk about kids with disabilities, with struggles, just how you've used, music and you live a life of positivity. You're an inspiration. And, it's hard, I'm an old dude, right? I'm 56 years old. When I first started following you, I get goosebumps thinking about it now. Talk a little bit about that, man, about, what you're doing from the humanitarian perspective outside of music. Talk about some of your efforts.
Yeah. So, it's kind of cool with how, the whole speaking with, schools has been really fun. It's kind of a long story, but actually that's where Pete's Diary kind of comes from. It's kind of a cool story. Originally, Pete's Diary started as a journal that my mom kept when I was born. And, this was in 2000, right? So there really wasn't like Facebook or, the internet to kind of help keep family up to date with all the medical stuff that was going on. Because, there was lots of stuff, especially at the beginning with like all these surgeries that I'd have. So really, I don't know how it was sent, but, mom would send these updates to family. I guess it was like an email or something, but she would send updates to families, just kind of letting know what was going on that day, what doctors I was seeing or, what medical procedure was coming up, just to kind of help keep family informed of what was going on. And and I was in the hospital from October 7th to January 16th in the NICU because I was born premature. So really it kind of, I think it's available on the website too. You can kind of read through it. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's out there though. I might be wrong, but basically it's out there. But basically, that was how kind of Pete's Diary started. And then I had the opportunity to kind of start sharing my story with, schools and students. Did you guys ever see the movie or read the book Wonder?
Yes.
Or hear about it? Yeah. So originally when that book came out, it was so cool because, I hadn't really read a story, at least, a story like that really hadn't been told in such a big way before, or really brought in such like a big spotlight. So, getting to read that book and connect with it so deeply was incredible. And originally I'd go to schools and talk with students at the beginning, like how my life was similar and different to the main character of the book. And then kind of over time, especially in 2017 when the movie came out, there was a lot more of that. But then when I picked up the guitar, the music kind of came into it as well. So, and then it kind of, filtered into the social media thing with the music and positivity. And then especially kind of when COVID hit and everyone was stuck at home, the music, I was playing lots of songs to, help pass time and keep myself busy. And I was just throwing them out on social media. And that was kind of how this whole thing kind of started building up. So now it's fun because actually I'm going to go speak to the school tomorrow morning. So I'll take my guitar there and kind of jam along a little bit. And then pretty much how it's evolved to now is, I'll play a little bit and kind of share my story with students and kind of how I've, overcome, some of the, medical challenges that I've had to face, and how music, of course, how music has played a big role in.
It's awesome, man. I love the fact that, you're giving it away, right? And to share your story is just an inspiration to kids who are going through something. It doesn't necessarily have to be, the CCA, right? It can be anything, that someone's feeling, a kid's feeling. It's great.
Yeah. Well, it's cool too, because like on social media, people have been inspired by, all the challenges, all the medical kind of challenges. But then it's cool when you see people kind of reach out and say like, oh, seeing you play guitar, it's inspired me to pick up the instrument again, or, I haven't played in how many number of years, and, started fiddling around tonight after seeing you play Back in Black, or, whatever it was. Or so it's just really cool to kind of hear stuff like that. Or then you have like, a mother sending a message saying like, I've never seen somebody with Goldenhar, doing this, playing guitar like this, or, we were told that, this child, his future was not great, but then seeing you play guitar and, being on stage and having fun, it gives us hope. So it's just like, it's kind of wild how, people can take inspiration from what you're doing while not actively, putting stuff out there. It's kind of cool how, you don't know how you might help someone in an indirect way. It's pretty powerful. It's really awesome.
And I'll be honest with you, Pete, when we had dinner that night, we were sitting down talking. I asked you how long you've been playing. I think you said like maybe 4 years at that time. It might've been 5. I don't know.
A little bit longer.
But inspired me. Well, you pissed me off because I'm like, how can you be so freaking good? Right. But no, I'll be honest, you inspired me. I'm like, you know what? If you could do it at such a young age in such a short period of time, why can't a guy my age at least try it again, right? Because I used to play guitar when I was younger, and I gave up on it. I stopped, but I guys like you and the people that I hang out with in the music scene, you've been an inspiration to me. So thank you for that, man.
You're welcome. That's cool. It's pretty neat.
And it still pisses me off how good you are and how shitty I am.
I'll
let the good overcome the bad.
I don't know. I still got a lot to work on too. So
you never stop learning, right, man? Just keep going, because once you do, then that's when you stop growing. So
right.
Well, you chased me out of School of Rock, Peter. So
sorry. Oops.
Well, you can go back. Well, you can go back. He's giving lessons now, Pete.
Yeah, I'm doing lessons every Wednesday.
I like where I'm at in my mediocrity. Root note, Pete.
Well, no one does mediocrity as well as you, Pete. That's what I heard.
All right. Hey, I don't know if you could tell, but I'm wearing a turkey hat, and as God is witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
All right, fellow babies, and now it's time to go to our live remote man on the scene at the Pinedale Shopping Mall for the big WKRP turkey giveaway. So take it away, Les Nessman.
This is Les Nessman, your man on the scene here at the Pinedale Shopping Center, where the excitement is mounting. We're here to witness the big WKRP Turkey Thanksgiving giveaway.
Hey, you got permission to be out here?
What?
You're blocking my store here, buddy.
Don't you know who I am?
Huh?
I'm Les Nessman. I won the Buckeye News Hawk Award last year.
Good for you, Buckeye. Now get out of my doorway.
I'm sorry. Creep.
So far, so good, huh?
I'm here with hundreds of people who have gathered to witness what has been described as perhaps the greatest turkey event in Thanksgiving Day history. All we know for sure is that in a very few moments there are going to be a lot of happy people out here. Now the crowd is curious but well behaved. And I think I hear something now. The crowd is moving out into the parking area. And oh yes, I can see it now. It's a helicopter. And it's coming this way.
A helicopter.
It's flying something behind it. I can't quite make it out. It's a large banner, and it says, Happy Thanksgiving from WKRP. What a sight, ladies and gentlemen, what a sight. The copter seems to be circling the parking area now. I guess it's looking for a place to land. No, something just came out of the back of the helicopter. It's a dark object, perhaps a skydiver, plummeting to the earth from only 2,000 feet into the air. Seconds and a third. There's no parachutes yet. Those can't be skydivers. I can't tell just yet what they are, but... Oh, my God, they're turkeys! Oh, Johnny, can you get this? Oh, they're crashing to the earth right in front of our eyes! One just went through the windshield of a parked car! Johnny, this is terrible. The cars running around, pushing each other? Oh, my goodness! Oh, the humanity! Oh, people are running about. The turkeys are hitting the ground like sacks of wet cement. Folks, I don't know how much longer the crowd is running for their lives. I think I'm going to step inside. I can't stay out here and watch this any longer. No, I can't go in there. Children are searching for their mothers, and not since the Hindenburg tragedy has there been anything like this. I don't know how much longer I can hold my position here, Johnny. The crowd...
Les, are you there? Les isn't there. Thanks for that on-the-spot report, Les. For those of you who just tuned in, the Pinedale Shopping Mall has just been bombed with live turkey. Film at 11.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
I think we should talk about what is everybody. Oh, you like that, Peter? Oh, we broke Peter. Yeah. What's going on for Thanksgiving for everybody? Me, I'll kick it off. We're going to take 5 gallons of 400-degree peanut oil, and in 55 minutes, bam, we got ourselves dinner.
Or a fire.
You got a fire extinguisher?
Yeah. Water hose.
Oh. Nothing puts out a grease fire like water. Good job, man. What are you doing, Peter Dankelson? What do you got going on for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, so my grandparents are going to be coming to town on Thursday, so we'll be spending Thanksgiving here with them. So that'll be fun.
Great thing. Do you play music for them and stuff? Do they like to listen to you play? Do you perform?
A little bit, yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know. It's kind of like I pick it up whenever I pick it up.
Right, which is pretty all the time, I'm sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Some days you're a bit more inspired than others, but you just kind of pick it up and jam. Yeah.
Well, it's got a lot to be thankful for. Mr. Orfanos, what do you got going on there?
I it's pretty low key, man. Spending time with the family, and it's we'll be up in Grays Lake, so we'll be at my brother's house, and that's it.
Right by Pete Dankelson's, man. You should stop over there and see his grandparents.
Yeah.
What kind of food you got over there, Peter?
We have actually, no, she won't be here. I was gonna say we'll have one dog here. The other we're gonna board.
You're gonna serve. Wait.
What was it?
Never mind.
He was gonna say you're serving dog. That's what he was gonna say. He bit his tongue. I knew exactly where he was going.
Michael Dermont, what do you got cooking in your household? Literally?
Well, we have turkey, but it's not going to be in my household. Debbie and I are flying down to Florida. We're going to go spend it with. So my father lives in Clearwater, and then my in-laws are staying in a hotel because their house, as you know, the hurricane destroyed that. So they've been in a hotel now going, this is their second month. So my dad actually volunteered his house. He's got a 1-bedroom condo down there. So we're going to squeeze in there. And I'm going to be doing the cooking. I'm going to make turkey and all the trimmings, man. So good little family adventure.
Yeah.
What is the most underrated Thanksgiving dish?
Underrated or overrated?
Under.
Sweet potatoes.
You think it's the most underrated?
With the marshmallows or without? With or without?
Without.
Okay. Sweet potato. I think you got to.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
I think he's asking. I mean,
I'm just asking.
Yeah. What's the most underrated?
Yeah.
Underrated. That's a great question. I'm going to have to go with some kind of dessert because I think everything's overrated at Thanksgiving. The one thing that I can't stand is green bean casserole.
I was going to say, with the French onions on there? Come on.
Yeah, man. Come on.
Little cream mushroom soup? Come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Make it like that.
I'm not a big fan of that anymore. Maybe I was. I like green olives. I think green olives are underrated.
Do you stuff them with anything?
No, I stuff them in my mouth.
No, but I mean, you put a little popper in there and
man, I don't know. I have no idea what's underrated.
Fair enough. And then after dinner, sweatpants or undoing the belt?
Naked, 100%, man. It's a tradition in my house. We strip down to nothing.
It's too TMI.
You go in sweatpants, man. You don't go change. You gotta go. You gotta be prepared, right? It's like surgery. You're going in, you're scrubbed down, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
I go in, I don't have a napkin. I have a bath towel over my neck.
There you go.
What
about music? Does anybody got any music going on? I mean, this is a big time for shows and stuff. You got Turkey Testicle Festival.
Blackout Wednesday. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, Pete, are you doing anything? Or I guess you're not playing, so
yeah. Well, I mean, we had our last planned show of the year on over the last weekend. So yeah, so we're kind of wrapped up I guess now we're wrapped up for not just the year.
Wrapped up for Christmas. What about you, Bongo? What do you got going on? Anything?
Yeah, it's technically it's my final show of the year, and that's going to be with Soundtracks of a Generation at the Arcada Theater, and we're recreating the concert for George Harrison. So that
wow.
That's going to be a lot of fun. That's 15 musicians, and we're doing the entire show that was done back in 2002. I don't when did he die?
Yeah,
2002.
That's when Prince ripped off "While My Guitar Gently." I mean, ripped off the chord. Not ripped it off. He ripped right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we got that at the Arcada Friday.
Nice.
That's the 29th, and technically that's my last show. Then I'll do a Black Diamond sessions at the Wooden Nickel in December. But really, this is the last ticketed show. So we're looking forward to it.
December 7th and December 14th, Bongo.
I think I'm going to be at Art Nunez's house as I'm digging into the 38 songs that are there. There's about some not on.
We start to woodshed it, man. It's time to put all the planning in place and start working on these songs for the Coterie event.
I am absolutely ready for both of those dates. I'm looking forward to it.
I am so excited with the vocalists that we have coming. I keep saying that, right? I'm obviously a vocal guy, but the talent that we have coming, and some of it, like we talked about on the last show, some of these singers I haven't even heard them in person. I've only seen clips, and then Jerome Cunningham from Funk Brothers, like, hey, we got to get this guy, we got to get that gal, and I'm like, well, let's get them, and wow, this is going to be a crazy good show. I think it's probably it's going to be definitely one of the tops. I say that every show, but it's going to be so good, man.
Well, we're going to get Pete Dankelson in there. We got to get him the list. Yeah. How come we don't have the Jackson 5, I Want You Back? How come that's
on there?
I know, but how can we not be doing that?
you can't force people to take songs, man. You just kind of have to let it happen naturally and organically and hope. I mean, we can always lobby, right? You can always ask and plead and beg and whatever, pay people off. But
what I like to do now at the end of the show, we'd like to take this time to say we're thankful for our viewers.
Yes.
Our watchers.
Are we at 10,000? 10,000? Did I see that number?
In aggregate?
I don't know. Didn't Beth send something that said we were at 10,000?
I believe nothing on internet.
Since we're giving thanks, first of all, I'd like to thank you, Pete, for getting me involved in this. This has been it's been a hoot. I love spending time with you guys. Thank Peter Dankelson for joining us and all the other guests that we've had, but a real special thanks and shout out. And I said this today on Facebook, or was it yesterday, to Beth. She has just been, working so hard behind the scenes, and she does it with passion. So Beth, thank you.
I will say so. And then Mike Orfanos, forgetting Mike Dermont. How do we get this going, Mike? We were having a couple of suds. Where were we at? West Dundee had a couple of drinks. Said, let's get a podcast going. Here we are.
Yeah, I came to see you, Heart of Glass, right?
Yeah.
And you and I were talking, and it was like, yeah, let's do a podcast. I was the first one. When you start there, there's only one way to go, and that's up.
This is real. I mean, being a part of this, Pete, is great, right? Because I don't perform as much as I used to, which is perfectly fine. Being a part of this allows me to stay connected to the community that I love so much in music. And it's been great, man. It's an evolution of my music journey.
I agree. And we get to meet cool people like Pete Dankelson. I saw him perform at the Broken Oar a couple times, but I didn't know the guy. And when I saw him, I'm like, what a great player, what a great band. And
great guy.
Yeah, and a great guy. And now I've got some background. I know he's played with Joe Bonamassa. He gets to jam with different popular national musicians.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And
he gets to hang out with us, man. So
hang out with us.
Let's try this.
Now
again.
He's going to be on the Motown show.
Now we're trying to be thankful, right? We lost our thankfulness.
I'm trying to send a Thanksgiving message here.
Okay, try it again.
On behalf of the HOG POD Podcast. On behalf of the HOG POD Podcast, we are thankful for our watchers, our viewers, our listeners, our lovers, our haters, anybody that shows up each week to get a slice of this love fest. On behalf of Mike Dermont, Mike Orfanos, and Peter Dankelson, we'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Blessings to all.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving.
May your gravy be plentiful and your turkey not as dry as it used to be. And may your drunk uncle be not named Pete. Have a great Thanksgiving, all.